Don't waste your money buying new files at the big box store. The perfect files were already created over 100 years ago. This 1939 catalog proves exactly why these old files still put modern tools to shame. It all started with a man named William T. Nicholson in 1864. Before Nicholson, the best files were cut by hand. Literally, a guy with a hammer and a chisel striking the steel thousands of times a day. But Nicholson built machines that could cut teeth with a uniformity that no human hand could match. And by 1939, they had grown so large that they needed 4 massive production plants in order to keep up with demand. On page 6, we see their patented tooth construction. If you pause and look at this diagram, you see the lost secret. Nicholson used a specific double-cut geometry with calculated rake angles for the upcut and overcut. This was designed to force the tool to bite into the material rather than slide over it. And here's where the woodworkers really need to pay attention. The triangular saw files. These were essential for carpenters in 1939, as knowing how to resharpen their saws was critical to performance and longevity of the tool. And Nicholson provided a variety of precision files to make that possible for any type of saw. And then we get into the machinist files. These flat files were double cut for quickly and accurately hogging off material. And they made just about every variation of this file that you can imagine, coming in different levels of coarseness, length, and profile, with half-round, round, square, triangular, and other specialized profiles such as warding files for locksmiths. And they didn't just make these files for steel, they had files to accommodate virtually any material such as lead, babbitt, brass, aluminum, and more. Nicholson understood that there needed to be a specialized file for every possible application in order to guarantee optimal performance, and that their customers counted on every one of these to perform, as well as their standard file offering. And then the catalog takes a brief break from metal files to take a look at their cabinet files and rasps for woodworking. These files were cut by a machine that mimicked the hand stitching of a human craftsman. Each tooth is slightly offset from the one in front of it, but their proprietary randomized tooth pattern is what made these files truly special. Instead of tearing the fibers, they shear them. And to end this section of the catalog, which showcases their line of American pattern tools, we see a file with a nice, smooth, and ergonomic built-in handle, which they called the handy file. While Nicholson focused on making highly specialized tools for specific trades, they also understood that the DIYer of 1939 preferred to have a simple but high-quality general-purpose tool. As we turn to page 34, we leave the world of the blacksmith and the farrier and enter the world of the watchmaker and the tool and die master. This is the XF Swiss pattern section. XF stands for extra fine. And these weren't just standard files made smaller. They were an entirely different class of tool, proprietary to the high-precision trades. Unlike the American pattern files we've seen so far, which are graded as bastard, second cut, and smooth, these Swiss pattern tools are graded by numbers, from 00 down to 6. A number 6 cut is so impossibly fine it feels almost like smooth silk to the touch, yet it is covered in thousands of microscopic razor-sharp teeth. In 1939, these were the gold standard for fitting, the process of filing a part so precisely that it fits into a machine with zero clearance. These weren't for just removing metal, they were for finishing it. Jewelry makers, watchmakers, and tool and die makers live by these. They are knurled, delicate, and machined to tolerances that are hard to believe. These files include riflers, needle files, and die sinkers. In 1939, we didn't have CNC machines to shape complex parts. They were handmade with these files. The skill required to use a number 6 cut Swiss file is a lost art. As we come to the close of this catalog, think about the difference between a tool made to build a nation and a tool made to fill a shelf. These files were investments. They cut cleaner, lasted longer, and did work we struggle to replicate today. This 1939 Nicholson catalog is a monument to a time when tools were assets, not consumables. The engineering we just looked at, the rake angles, the micro-testing, the specialized metallurgy, it puts modern manufacturing to shame. So if you have been working with a set of files from the big box store and have been frustrated, do yourself a favor. Go out and find some nice vintage Nicholson files at a garage sale, and you will quickly forget your old ones. Thanks for watching. And if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing for more vintage tool history.